David,
Ah, hello.
here we are.
Good afternoon, yes.
You recently released your middle collection of poems. You have one to go. You have one to go.
That's
you
correct.
have published one, now it's your second, and you have one to go. But we are at the second. So you need to tell us about
Songs from the Wood.
You need to tell us.
It's free to friends.
But for foes.
What?
But for foes or enemies. Friends and foes.
You leave my enemies out of this. Let's get to the point.
If you're an enemy, you don't need to watch this, and you don't need to buy the poems.
Goodbye, George. I don't need you to see it. So yeah, this is my middle life poems. A long time in bringing it together, but I finally did, and yeah, they're really just personal remembrances of specific. Well, you know what makes people write poetry. It's usually with me, it's place rather than people, but people come into it. Are you recording it? Is this recorded?
Yeah.
No. Oh, why do I?
We just try.
I write poems because I found writing stories was too laborious. I used to write short stories, 2 or 3 pages, but I didn't have the endurance to carry on writing.
I heard other poets say the same. And when I write poems, usually I write fiction, like books, but after writing poems, I get lazy too.
Yes.
Then all I want to do is write poems.
The poet's affliction, we call it. But also, I like art, but I can't paint very well. I have tried preaching in a church, but that fizzled out. So poetry, my father wrote a lot of poems, so maybe it's inherited, my grandfather too. Okay. It's just thoughts that come to you, but you put them, because songs are just poetry set to music, so maybe I could write songs, but I never have tried very much. Yeah, it's just the way...
Songs are my excuse to write in English. I write songs in English, mostly. Because you can be more, the public can be more forgiving, because they don't listen so much to what you sing, so they will not hear any mistakes in English. But if I would write in English, then maybe they would hear all my mistakes.
I sometimes think that your Swedish books could be translated to English. It would open up the American and English market too. So.
I have I think 2, 3 short stories in English. It's Remorse. You proofread it.
Yes.
It's the one from hell.
Yes, that was a jolly little tale, wasn't it?
No, I don't think so. And I have 2 others, I think.
But the one that you're famous for, it hasn't been translated.
No.
Well,
but who knows in the future when I'm grey and old? Who knows?
You need to have hair to be grey now. No, your beard is almost
grey and blonde. It's not.
But well, you're very blonde as a boy, by the look of it.
Yeah. We're looking at a photo from my coming collection of poems in Swedish, and that's me, and I'm too blonde there.
You never recognized that was the same man, would you?
No, you wouldn't.
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think this one cannot translate the title to English, but in Swedish it's like Det som en gång var. It's like what once was. I would say maybe in English. I mean what once was.
Okay.
Is gone.
Those were the days, my friend. We thought they'd never end. Yeah. So, exactly.
But for how long did you write poems? When did you start, and what made you start?
Oh, I think I started when I was a teenager. I had a poem which was entered for the school magazine, I remember, when I was 15. And I've written poems then for, gosh, over 50 years.
Oh no.
But it's just an expression of your thoughts, really, for me.
Yeah. You don't have the rhyme. You don't like.
Well, no.
A
lot of my poems do rhyme, but I like to think those are the simpler poems. Non-rhyming poems tend to be expressions of emotion just coming out. I would call it the vomiting of thoughts, the free expression.
So can you name 2 or 3 or maybe 1 poet who influenced you a lot?
Yeah, I think the rhyming poets, an English poet called John Betjeman, who was the poet laureate at one time in England. John Betjeman influenced me. Thomas Hardy in the 19th century. And then when I was at school, I studied for A-level, advanced level, the poems of the 1930s. Day-Lewis, Stephen Spender, W.H. Auden, people like that. And Lorca, the Spanish poet in translation. So the way that they handled words was important to me.
Do you know about an American poet called Stephen Crane? Did you read him?
Yeah, I know about it, but not well enough to comment on it, really. Yeah.
I just remember he was one of my first. Yeah, but yeah, probably one of the first. Maybe from when I was 17 or something. I read it in the beginning of a Stephen King story, and I was like amazed by his. So later I wrote an essay about him when I studied comparative literature at the university. Then I wrote an essay about him.
Right.
So that was maybe the first poet I read, and it was not in translation, I think, because they were simple, those poems.
I think that music is important to me. I grew up in the 1960s, so people like the Beatles, Bob Dylan, and Bob Dylan in particular, Leonard Cohen, they're great poets. They happen to be musicians as well, but some of Cohen and Dylan's lyrics are great poems, and I sometimes I was quoting a line from a Bob Dylan song to a friend in England the other day, actually. I can't remember it now, but what was it? I've forgotten what it was that I came here to get away from, which I think is very deep. That sometimes we don't remember why we're in a place, what drove us to the place. Well, that's a nice chat, wasn't it?